The Carp Creature targets well beyond the confines of its name. It's a great shallow, warm water pattern for anything that you can get it in front of. With plenty of warm, dry days ahead of us, you can still get a lot of mileage out of this fly. Begin by tying in your thread just behind the hook eye. Make wraps about halfway down the shank for now, just enough to add these bead eyes. You want the stalk of the eyes to sit about a hook eye in length behind the front of the shank. Once you have it in position, I make 2 different wraps to lock it in place. The first involves wrapping over the eyes and under the shank, tying it in from above. Do this a bunch of times until a small thread dam builds up over these wraps. Next, start making wraps under the eyes and over the shank to lock in from below. As we did before, do this a bunch of times until the eyes are secure. You can even drop a bit of head cement on these wraps if you'd like. Now keep wrapping backwards until your thread is just above the hook bar beneath the shank. Here we'll add a short tuft of marabou for our tail. Measure it out so that it extends about 2 hook shanks in length past your tie-in point and make tight wraps to secure. Bring your thread up to behind the eyes, lay the marabou tag down on the shank, and tie in again for extra durability. Then bring your thread back to the tail's original tie-in point. Now we'll add some legs. Tie one on each side of the hook shank by wrapping the leg around your thread at its midpoint and sliding it into position like so. Then fold the front-facing strands back and take a few more wraps to point them both towards the tail. When they're secure, trim so that the legs extend to about half the length of your marabou tail. Go to your dubbing and start wrapping it around your thread in a thin noodle. The micro rubber strands in the dubbing make for a great buggy look, so be sure to include some. Start wrapping up the body, stopping when you get to behind the hook eye. Before proceeding, brush out the dubbing to free any trapped fibers. Now add 2 more rubber legs in the same style that you did before. I like both of these to be positioned slightly on top of the shank so that they'll ride a bit under the fly when fished. Snip these so that they also reach the length of your tail. Invert your hook. We'll add another marabou tuft here for some extra bulk and movement at the head. Tie it in with the tips facing backwards so that they reach about halfway up your marabou tail. Snip and tie down the excess when complete. We'll add another tuft of dubbing here. I like to pull the rubber bits out of this section, which makes this portion finer and easier to work with. Start gently pulling the strands apart and realigning them with one another until you have a short clump with the fibers lengthened and even. This section will be long, durable, and perfect for adding more bulk. Tie this in opposite the hook shank from where you just added your marabou tuft, and with roughly the same dimensions. Then snip the excess, take more dubbing, and start wrapping around your thread again. Make more wraps with your dubbing over, under, and around your bead eyes to cover this area in a bulky layer. Aim to exhaust your dubbing clump at the front of the eyes, then make an even base with bare thread just behind the hook eye. Whip finish at this section, snip your thread, and add some head cement. Now you're good to go. The Carp Creature is a slow sinker, which is great for the type of subtle but meaty presentation for spooky warm water fish. The marabou tufts and wavy legs are excellent attractors, and short strips right in front of your target can be a great way to put these materials to work and draw a bite. Happy fishing, and thanks for watching.